The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Oh, yeah.
No. You are capable of doing the intro without doing it. If you do it right now, you have to do it when Max is on too, because you never do it when Max is on. So you're not going to do it now. And if you do it now, you got to do it when Max is on. Have at it.
Magic hands. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You win and ruined it, Chad. That's everybody's favorite part.
Because you don't do it when Max is on. But when he's not here, you're like, okay, I could do sexy voice. But Max scares you off his sexy voice. So I called that shit out and move along.
Okay, I will do it every time then. I will do it on the normal show now, Todd. You want that? We'll review Crystal Lake, and I'm going to come in hot.
But you do remember I said 1001 was your last episode on the main program. We've already recorded it.
That's messed up. But anyways, we are here tonight to talk, not smut tonight, I'm going to say not smut, or some classy smut, depending how you look at it, with the 1995 film from legendary director Nicolas Roeg, and that is Full Body Massage. Before we get into it, I should just show off here this new Unearthed Classics Blu-ray, which we're reviewing this version of the movie. Not that the movie's any different, but certainly looks fantastic. And we'll get right into it. All right, so Mimi Rogers and Bryan Brown sizzle in this highly provocative drama from acclaimed director Nicolas Roeg. Nina, played by Mimi Rogers, a successful but world-weary art dealer, is surprised to find that her regular masseur has sent a substitute, Fitch, played by Bryan Brown, to continue her weekly massage sessions. Fitch's therapeutic caresses, while charged with sexual tension, gain emotional significance as the opinionated pair first clash and then bond while relaying thoughtful meditations on intimacy and human relationships. Free to discuss her life, hopes, and failures, Nina is liberated from her confused world, indulging in a strange, erotic mysticism with her handy muse. Brilliantly helmed by director Roeg, Full Body Massage is an exhilarating and sophisticated portrait of sensual love. All right, so Full Body Massage. I remember seeing this way back in the day, I believe Showtime, which it was actually a Showtime original movie back in 1995. And I've mentioned this on the show before, but I've always kind of had a childhood crush on Mimi Rogers.
This feels like it was like the test of series, which it totally felt like it could have gone into series.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you have this story aspect, so you could do a different episode each time. It really does feel like it was designed to be an anthology.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what they might have done. I mean,
especially being produced by Showtime,
and they certainly might have. The director, of course, I'm a diehard fan because he directed Don't Look Now, one of the great horror films of all time, Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie, Walkabout, which I actually just picked up the Criterion 4K of Walkabout. That movie is a must-see for film fans. Eureka, one that tends to be overlooked. That's a really good movie. The Witches, which I think a lot of people know that, but always a fascinating director. And this is getting, towards the latter side of his career, and certainly maybe not as acclaimed as some of those films, but I always really liked it. Now I say it's not an erotic thriller. It's not smut. It's kind of intellectual softcore. I guess
It's a couples movie is the best way to put it.
Yeah, but it doesn't really go like full on romance either. It's kind of
But
about
it
life.
but it is very couples friendly.
Yeah, yeah. It's not dirty. It's nothing that you'd be embarrassed to watch.
I'm actually surprised little Dan would have liked this one, but he said he had the Mimi Rogers thing.
Well, and the thing about it is Mimi Rogers is naked for 90% of the time she's on screen. So that probably would be the reason that young Dan liked it. All this talking about life stuff probably wasn't that.
Dan, you probably didn't know that they talked about life till like you were 30 watching it. Like they talk in this
Fucking
movie.
Bryan Brown.
You're like, I was waiting for the clown to pop out. What the fuck's going on here?
I don't care about your asshole dad. Just get to the boobies.
Oh, I guarantee you said that at least more than once.
Boo hoo, your dad was a dick. Come on. You're
Now look at
massaging
my dick.
you're massaging a naked Mimi Rogers. Life isn't that bad. No. I also should say there's a very similar French film, The Beautiful Troublemaker, I believe is the translation from director Jacques Ribet, which is very similar. It's about a painter painting a woman, and she's like naked for most of the movie. Also, again, not a smutty movie. This really does kind of fall into intellectual softcore, which again, maybe that's not as appealing. There's not a lot in the way of sex in the film. There are some flashbacks. In fact, playing the in the flashbacks, we have Gabriella Hall, a softcore icon after this. I believe this was only the second thing she ever worked on. And she ironically went on to be in Masseuse 2. She was known for Lolita 2000, Exotic Time Machine 1 through 2, Erotic Misadventures of the Invisible Man, and one of my personal favorites, the James Bond softcore spoof, You Only Live Until You Die. But among many other things, she churned them out. She was great. And so yeah, the movie is essentially just that. These characters that kind of we go from flashing back to their pasts while they're talking to each other, working out some issues that they have in their lives, and very interesting. Also, again, sensual as hell. Mimi Rogers, gorgeous. I think maybe the first time I noticed her was in Someone to Watch Over Me with Tom Berenger, which was kind of her first like featured lead role. Great film. And she is just gorgeous. She had a kid right before this movie too, which is just amazing because you see it all, and she looks fantastic in this movie. And yeah, I think it holds up really well. There's not these couple friendly films like this really made anymore. People are really afraid of nudity, and it's kind of a good example. You can do it in a classy way. I don't think this movie lessened Mimi Rogers' career. She went on to do Lost in Space not too long after this. And yeah, you're muted, Todd.
I was coughing. Sorry. It was a different time though, Dan. Like then, yeah, no one's gonna blink an eye. Now they might.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame because I'd like to see this kind of film make a return. And also Bryan Brown, an actor that doesn't get talked about enough. I think he's always been fantastic. Probably first noticed him in the FX movies with Brian Dennehy, and of course he did a lot of great stuff. Somebody really you should go through his career, even some of his early Australian work.
I'm sure Dan's a big cocktail guy.
Not a big cocktail fan, but I like a lot of his films. So yeah, kind of a weird one for our show in a lot of ways because Black Emmanuel tends to be a different kind of After Dark. This qualifies, but again, I don't think there's anything obscene about the movie.
You like seem to me. You always do this when it comes to After Dark. You seem to make it seem like it's a bad thing. It's on After Dark. It's not. It's
No,
just not horror. Doesn't matter what level it is. It's
no, it's not, and I'm so glad that this got announced for Blu-ray. The movie looks spectacular. It's not one that I ever expected that we'd get. We're kind of seeing a bit of a boom period for these types of movies, or at least I hope it continues, because I've noticed a little bit more and more coming to Blu-ray or DVD, even in some cases. There's so much out there that we've never even gotten. Some we haven't ever gotten on DVD, at least officially. And I'm really ecstatic that Unearthed is doing this line. Hopefully we'll get a lot more in the erotic thriller realm. Look at how much we don't have. They're our most popular shows. There is an audience out there that grew up on this stuff, the HBO Cinemax generation. And Mimi Rogers, to me, one of the most beautiful women to ever grace the silver screen. And if you get nothing else out of the film, those scenes deliver.
because I actually thought that it felt like she's nude, but she's covered a lot.
Oh, but you
She's not
see it all.
exposing. You see it all, but you're like she's naked 90% of the movie, but she's still covered like 70% of that 90.
I don't know. You partially, I guess, but
Because she's laid out on the table and she's covered, and her front is covered.
I think people will be satisfied with the nudity.
Dan, your young Dan's coming in. I'm just trying to check expectations. Dan's made it sound like it's fucking Life Force, but it's not.
Maybe not quite Life Force.
Not
level.
even close to Night. It doesn't have the Lizzie level nudity. I think you're over
Lizzie level.
Yeah.
Which Lizzie are we talking? What are we talking about?
There's only one. There's only one with Chloe and what's her name? The
Lizzie Borden movie. No, there's a lot more nudity in this than that.
Oh my God, you're insane.
Are you arguing with
yes
a disciple of Mr.
Because
Skin?
you know why I'm arguing? Because you've like I just watched it, Dan. There's not a ton of nudity. While watching it, I was like,
He's rubbing down
yeah,
those cheeks and titties left and right.
But she's like on her front. I think you're
I challenge anybody watching this video in the comments, watch Lizzie with Kristen Stewart and watch Full Body Massage, and you tell us which one has more nudity, because 100% it's Full Body Massage. So, but I'll just leave that with, if you're a fan of Mimi Rogers, if you had a thing for Mimi Rogers like I did back in the day, you will be very, very happy.
And I want to hear everyone who had a thing for Mimi Rogers, because I want to know how big this cult was.
It has to. Anybody that saw Someone to Watch Over Me had to fall in love with her back in the day.
I did not.
You didn't see the movie?
I did not fall in love with her.
Different taste, sir. But
yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious how many. It's not a case like a Glenn Close. I mean, I at least get it with her. You know what I mean? I'm putting her over, Dan. I'm saying Glenn Close.
Yeah, the way you said that, I was going to say Glenn Close.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, I get it. Like, I don't get it with like people like, oh, Glenn Close, but I get it with Mimi Rogers. I'm not like, ooh, Dan, how do you like her? I'm just,
I might stick it to Roy Rogers before I stick it to Glenn Close. I mean, like, I don't know. 1987, I guess things were different, but
No,
Uh,
even then I didn't get it, but whatever.
but yeah, no, I do really enjoy this movie. It's not Rogue's best film, obviously. You know, the guy has done Stone Cold classics, but uh, I love it. I love Bryan Brown's acting, Mimi Rogers. I think they were a good contrast with each other. And
Yeah, it's a great film. I don't want it to come off that I didn't think that. I just think Dan's like added this level of nudity that I don't think actually exists.
it gets the Flesh Wound Dan seal of approval.
Well, cool.
That is like Jesus Christ saying you're a good person. Like
So in
holds
other
so much
words,
weight.
it means absolutely nothing. You know, you just devalued your award by saying that, right? Because
Chad.
it doesn't exist. So there you go. We're good. Thank you.
Okay, Chad. We'll see. We will see. But while you're waiting for Christ to return, you can enjoy full body massage from Unearthed Classics. And I should also say it does also include a new 2K scan, which again, you've never seen this film look
It
better.
looks great.
It really does. And it's one of those movies too. You almost have to worry because it starts to maybe reveal certain warts, maybe literally in some cases. But this even better. It's a beautiful looking film. It also includes the TV version, stills gallery, and trailers. And I do highly recommend you pick this one up. Unearthed Classics. Can't wait to see what they've got coming up next. And that's about all I've got. Let's go ahead and rate it. I am 4 stars. Love
See,
this
after
movie.
all that, I'm shocked you didn't give it a 5.
No, not necessarily a 5. I mean, like I said,
Is it one of your favorites?
oh yeah, I love the movie. I still love this movie. But I don't know. Some
I get it.
people may go into this thinking like, oh, it's just very talky. And maybe if you don't have
But it's packed, but it's chock full of 90% nudity, but it's too talky.
It's a very talky film. It's about 2 people talking about their lives while they're oiling, well, not each other, but while he's oiling up her titties.
I think Dan's too busy oiling himself up.
This is maybe the first time that I actually even knew what this movie was about. I think I was just sitting drooling on myself with the chair braced up against the doors so no one would walk in. So
and
it's like
lemon in
seeing
his
it the
mouth.
first time. Yeah, absolutely. Always that's where Carradine went wrong. You put the lime, Todd. Lime works.
Oh,
better.
okay. Sorry, I was getting that confused with your lemons and ketchup. Totally different. Jesus. I actually haven't seen this since probably, when it first came out on Showtime. Enjoyed it. Wasn't one that I went back to again. It wasn't like I didn't have a Mimi Rogers crush or anything. I did, enjoy the film. And rewatching it now, I think it's a great film. It feels a little out of place on the Unearthed line, but I know this line's expanding for the classics line. So
Yeah.
I want to see more stuff like this. I'm a little lower, but I'm still a respectable 3.5 on this one.
Okay. They also put out the the notorious BDSM film Tokyo Decadence. So I think they are probably looking at some sexually charged films for the line. And there's a lot to dive into. It's amazing some of these films that don't have proper editions. So more of this. So on that note, guys, be sure to join our free Discord, link in the description. Also, patreon.com/fleshwound features. We are hard at work on some Flesh Wound After Dark content that will be exclusive there and or also debuting there first. So you want to check all of that out. It all starts at just $1. And that's all we got for you. So on that note, good night.
Good evening.